War Child. They are a charity that helps children all around the world who are affected by conflict. They work in partnership with local organizations, providing emergency support to help these children, and are driven by the single goal of ensuring a safe future for every child living through war. This is the information that is on their website. You can go check it out if you want to read more about it or get involved. But War Child has recently put together a various artists compilation project. It is called Help 2, with the profits of course contributing to providing help and support for these children. I don't usually talk about compilations on this channel. I usually much prefer talking about actual albums, but the reason I want to talk about this project is not only to spread more awareness of the kindness that they're doing, but also because the music on this record is genuinely fantastic. Seeing the track list that was revealed beforehand already caught my attention, as I was highly anticipating hearing beabadoobee doing a cover of Elliott Smith's Say Yes, and Beth Gibbons of Portishead fame doing a cover of the Velvet Underground Sunday Morning, but the teaser tracks that were being put out leading up to the release only made me feel more excited, as they were pretty much all killer, no filler. They have chosen a pretty vast range of different musicians to be part of this compilation, and because each artist that they bring to the table has distinctly unique musical styles that are completely different from one another, it makes the entire experience consistently exciting and surprising the entire way through. And because nearly every artist that they've chosen is actually great and talented, not only do we get a vast range of different styles and genres in the mix, but each different sound this compilation is destined to throw at you is high class. From older music acts like the Britpop legends Pulp or the synth-pop legends Depeche Mode, to some modern greats like The Last Dinner Party, there will be at least a handful of tracks that will appeal to each and every person. Now, the artists that they've chosen here I find to be distinctly good to outstanding for the most part. However, Arctic Monkeys is the one where at this point in their career I find them to be one of the most generic bands in the current mainstream. They will forever live in the shadow of the first few great albums in my eyes. Ever since their incredibly bland early 2010s output, they have yet to impress me. The track that they bring here opening night is far from the worst thing they've done, but still admittedly a flavorless start to the record. 10 years later, it's been a decade. No shit. Please don't let this beginning of the record fool you into thinking you're going to get bland material from then on, because trust me, once you get past this point, you're in for some diamonds. If you turn off this album at this point, then that's the equivalent to this meme. Right after this weak opening song, you get rewarded with a run of the catchiest tracks on the record. You first get Flags, where you have Damon, Albarn, Grian, Chatten, and Tempest, and even a choir on this one song. All together they create a lovely art pop piano ballad, but the best part about it is really Grian's chorus. His raspy and thick accent is a nice contrast to the joyous piano keys. Then Strangers by Black Country New Road might genuinely be the best song they've put out since Isaac Wood left the band. Just like the previous song, it also features joyous pianos and a catchy chorus, but there's something about it that is so contagiously blissful that I just can't stop replaying it. The blissful and super catchy elements of these two songs carry over to Let's Do It Again by The Last Dinner Party, but they are used to cover up how much more depressing the theme of the song actually is, as it revolves around this relationship where the narrator is in this unhealthy cycle of wanting to leave but then wanting to go back. Helicopters with Ezra Collective and Greentea Peng sticks out in the track list as being the only track that goes in a dub reggae direction, which goes over really well. The helicopter vocal line is an earworm, and the lyrics here also reinforce the theme of going against oppression and just wanting peace, bringing more awareness to the charitable aim of this compilation. It's a song that spreads rebellious messages through dancey, chill reggae vibes in a way that makes me wish there were more tracks like this on the record. And I'm really shocked but astonished at how great the performances the older musicians bring to the table are, because despite them being pretty much past their prime at this point, they still provide some really nice songs. The Depeche Mode cover of Universal Universal Soldier features a very dark and bassy synth line that has this menacing edge to it that tones with the dark storytelling lyrics that are told in the track, which revolve around the lifestyle of a soldier. It's a very fitting choice of a song to cover, and even if it's not original, it is still arguably one of their most powerful songs from this late era stage of their career. And Pulp's Begging for Change has an incredibly infectious bass line that drives the track, which is backed up by expressively enthusiastic vocals. The song as a whole is certainly part of the punchier and harder hitting tracks on the record, but as great as these songs are, the part of this compilation that truly plays with my heartstrings the most are the softer ballads, more specifically the stripped back ones. Big Thief's Relive, Redie is what comes to mind. The lyrics as a whole are quite vague and hard to make complete sense of what it's about, but with the chorus repeating the lines "Who am I, relive, redie," and one of the lines in the intro verse mentioning having your last ever chance to look back on your life, this ballad seems to be in an existential crisis state. This is one of the moments on the record that truly makes me reflect on the purpose of this compilation put together by War Child Records, as the lyrics, which explore one's own existence, life and even death, can be connected to the devastating reality faced by children in conflict zones. It's beyond words. For lyrics this heavy, the sound itself is very soft, though I do admit that the tune Adrian is singing is similar to the one on Cell Phone Says. It's not that big of a deal though, there are still clear distinctions between the two overall. I am also really surprised at how even musicians who don't usually do singer-songwriter softer acoustic ballads often dive into that sound on this album. Take Wet Leg for example, who really strips things back more than they usually do on the song Obvious. When it comes to Wet Leg's music in general, I'm usually more into their punchier bangers like Catch These Fists, but Obvious might even top all of those songs. It's beautifully melodic, and the emotional intensity tied to the difficulty of going through life and the fatigue of constantly facing struggles hits hard. At least that's what I get out of it. But Olivia Rodrigo, while making an acoustic singer-songwriter song, is of course nothing new for her at this point. Doing a cover of a Magnetic Field song certainly is. I would have never guessed she was into them, judging how she wears her influences on her sleeve through her music. She takes this song into something much slower and quieter. There is admittedly not enough variation or fresh ideas that she brings to this rendition for it to be a favourite of mine, but it still does justice by matching the adorable energy of the original. I would also say the same about how I feel regarding beabadoobee's cover of one of Elliott Smith's most famous ballads, Say Yes. It just feels like the same song but with Bea's voice replacing Elliott. There are very few elements that make it differ from the original, and I do like some of Bea's music, but I just don't think her youthful voice has the same emotional depth and wit that Elliott's did in the original. Her voice, combined with the amount of effects added to it, sort of takes away the melancholy and lonely magic that made Elliott's version so incredible. It's pretty disappointing because if you've been paying attention to Bea's music, you would know that Elliott is one of her biggest musical influences and idols in general. Arooj, Aftab and Beck's cover of Nina Simone's Lilac Wine is decent, it does the job, but I don't know, I don't think anyone will ever surpass Jeff Buckley's cover, or the original for that matter. Really, the cover song that I enjoyed the most on this project is by far Beth Gibbons' rendition of Velvet Underground's Sunday Morning, one of the most boundary-pushing tracks of the 1960s. She transforms the beautifully dreamy and enchanting atmosphere of the original into something hauntingly beautiful, making it feel more like a Sunday night. But the song that everyone seems to be hyping up the most, at least within the online music community, is Warning by Cameron Winter, the lead singer of possibly the best Gen Z band right now, Geese. He is known for his unique voice and vocal style, often throwing in strange high-pitched vibratos, but on this song, he sounds like a different person. There are moments where I'm reminded of Tom Waits. What is easily the most attention-grabbing part of the song though, is the intense layers of strings that continue to build as the song reaches its end. It's a wild experience overall, and I hope to see Cameron explore more string arrangements in the future because it really is a bizarrely captivating track. While I doubt the tracklist was carefully curated in the way an actual album would be, since it is a compilation record after all, I do think there was some idea behind how this record was going to end, because the gentlest and most relaxing songs are placed at the end of the tracklist. For example, Carries My Girl by Bats for Lashes features an instrumental so minimal that the ethereal layer layering of vocals overpower everything beneath it. Something similar happens with what Calvi does on Sunday Light, the song that follows, as the ending features godly vocal harmonies that are even more ethereal, so ethereal in fact that they are on the verge of reaching Cocteau Twins levels of heavenly beauty. You know, when it comes to various artists' compilations, especially modern movie soundtracks, the artists that are chosen to work on them are more often than not phoning it in so much, and it's clear that in most instances, the musicians that are picked care much more about getting the check rather than delivering an actually great song. But I'm really glad this isn't the case here at all, because even if I didn't enjoy every single song here, I wouldn't recall a single moment where an artist was phoning it in or showing no care for this project. It's very clear that everyone here really tried to add something excellent and worth hearing rather than just throwing in some throwaway song that was supposed to be left in the vault. Like, I highly doubt the Black Country New Road song was a leftover, because that genuinely might be the best song they've made since the post-departure of Isaac Wood, and even I loved their latest album. So much care and love was put into this compilation, and the fact that it's for a good cause makes me even more happy. It's also nice to see that some of the musicians here actually spoke on the topics revolving around war to bring more awareness to the charitable aim of the project, making the music on this compilation focused and quite cohesive too, like an actual album would. Even if you don't have the time to listen to this whole thing, at least listen to the tracks by the artists that you like, because even simply streaming the amazing music here supports War Child's work. Please like and subscribe.